Managing a farm filled with thousands of cattle is no easy feat. From feeding and cleaning to selection and transportation, livestock farmers face numerous challenges. However, innovations like using helicopters to monitor cattle from the air have made many of these tasks significantly easier. Thanks to these advancements, we can enjoy beef steaks sizzling on the grill, milk in our coffee, and dairy products on our plates, staples that are part of almost every meal. Join us in this video as we explore the processes, machinery, and technologies making it all possible. Cattle mustering in the sky. Australia, home to nearly 40 million cattle, has a pretty unique way of keeping things under control, using helicopters. That's right, the big open spaces and rugged terrain of the Australian outback have made these choppers an essential tool for cattle ranchers. But let's paint you a picture of how this all works on the ground, or rather, in the air. Imagine it's early morning on a family-owned ranch in South Australia. The sun is just coming up, casting long shadows over the sprawling, dusty land. It's go time for the cattle mustering crew. In the past, getting a herd of 2,500 cattle to go where you wanted was a tough job. It meant days of tough, hot work, riding on horses or using motorbikes. It took grit, sweat, and a lot of patience. But things have changed quite a bit. Now, a helicopter is parked at the edge of the ranch, its blades slicing through the air as it gets ready to take off. The pilot, usually a rancher, jumps in, puts on the headset, and lifts off with a buzzing sound that breaks the quiet of the morning. The helicopter rises over the trees, offering a bird's-eye view of the herds spread out across the land. From up there, everything looks different. The herds that once seemed unruly and scattered now become a series of manageable groups. The pilot, with a combination of experience and skill, uses the helicopter to direct the cattle, nudging them in the right direction with the sound and presence of the chopper. It's like a high-speed game of herding, only with a bird's wings instead of a shepherd's staff. What used to take the family 3 long days can now be done in just a few hours. The cattle move in sync, almost as if they understand the routine, guided by the drone above. For the family, it's a game changer. Instead of spending hours under the hot sun, they finish the job before breakfast and have the rest of the day to focus on other tasks around the ranch. But it's not just about saving time. Using helicopters to gather the herds actually gives ranchers a chance to keep a closer eye on their cattle. From the air, they can spot any stragglers, animals that might be injured, or even areas where the grass isn't as green as it used to be. It's a way to monitor the health of the cattle and the condition of the land, which is really important for managing a large cattle operation. Plus, in today's world, where there's a rising demand for beef, efficiency is key. The helicopter method helps ranchers keep up with the pace while still making sure their animals are well taken care of. And while it may seem a bit like something out of a movie, for those families who've been working the land for generations, it's just the next step in a long line of innovations. Helicopters have become as much a part of the cattle industry as the cowboy hats and boots. So, while cattle mustering with a helicopter is certainly thrilling, the next phase, caring for the cattle on the ranch, offers a more hands-on, detailed approach to maintaining the health and well-being of the herd. Life on cattle farms. Life on a cattle farm is always busy. It's a mix of machinery buzzing, workers shouting, and cows mooing, creating a unique rhythm you won't find anywhere else. There's always something happening, from early mornings to late nights. But behind it all, a lot of hard work goes into keeping the farm running smoothly and the cattle are well taken care of. Let's take a look at how cattle farming shapes up in the United States. As of 2023, there are about 31.8 million cattle across the country, which is around 20% of the entire nation's livestock. Out of this number, about 22.4 million are beef cattle raised mainly for meat, while the remaining 9.4 million are dairy cows, the ones that fill your fridge with milk, cheese, and other dairy products. A typical day on a cattle farm starts long before the sun comes up. The team gets up early, ready to get to work. First on the agenda is feeding time. There's no sleeping in for the cattle. They're ready and waiting for breakfast. Farmers make sure the cows get a well-balanced mix of hay, grains, and other nutrients to keep them strong and healthy. This isn't just tossing out some hay. It's a carefully planned meal to ensure the cattle grow well, stay healthy, and if they're dairy cows, produce good quality milk. Once the cows are fed, it's time to clean up the barns. This is crucial, not just for the cattle's comfort, but also for their health. Keeping their living spaces clean helps prevent illnesses and keeps the herd comfortable. Farmers take this job seriously, making sure everything is neat and tidy before moving on to the next task. It's not glamorous work, but it's all part of the rhythm of life on the farm. And if you've ever wondered just how big these cows can get, well, let's talk about that. The size of a cow can vary quite a bit, depending on its breed, age, and how it's raised. Female cows typically weigh between 500 to 800 kilograms, while their male counterparts are heavier, tipping the scales at 800 to 1,200 kilograms. In some cases, with the right diet and care, cows can get even bigger. And it's not just about size. Weight plays a big role in what a cow can produce. Bigger cows usually yield more milk and meat, which is why farmers pay close attention to how much their cattle weigh and what they eat. But here's the catch. The larger the cow, the more food it needs. It's a balancing act between feeding them enough to grow well without overfeeding and wasting resources. Farmers spend a lot of time figuring out the best diets for their herds. It's almost like running a giant restaurant where every meal needs to be planned perfectly for each customer to thrive. The aim is to strike a balance where the cattle remain healthy and productive while keeping feed and care costs manageable, ensuring the farm's resources aren't overstretched. While life on a cattle farm is always busy, what comes next is where the real challenge begins. Milking process. The milking process is a lot more than just getting milk from a cow. It's a routine that dairy farmers take seriously to make sure the milk that ends up on your breakfast table is safe, clean, and tasty. Every step matters, and it all starts with getting things ready behind the scenes before a single drop of milk is collected. Before milking, everything has to be cleaned and checked, including sterilizing the milking machines. The pipes that carry the milk must be sparkling clean. This isn't just being picky. If even a small amount of dirt or bacteria sneaks in, it could spoil an entire batch of milk. Farmers know that hygiene is key, so they make sure everything is spotless before they get started. Once all the equipment is ready, it's time to bring in the cows. Cows are creatures of habit, and they usually walk in calmly, knowing what to expect. The farmers handle them gently, making sure they're comfortable because a relaxed cow gives more and better quality milk. The milking machines are then attached, and it's not as harsh as it might sound. It's a gentle process that mimics how a calf would nurse. But here's something not everyone knows. A cow doesn't give milk forever. Most dairy cows are only in their prime for about 4 years. After that, their milk production starts to drop, and the quality can go down too. That's why dairy farmers keep a close watch on their herds, making sure they're managing things just right. They want each cow to stay healthy and productive for as long as possible. So it's all about striking a balance with good feed, clean barns, and proper care. Once the milking is done, the job isn't over. The milk gets stored in big stainless steel tanks that keep it cold and fresh until it's ready to be taken to the processing plant. But even then, it's not just a matter of pouring it into bottles. The milk goes through a series of tests to check for any issues. If something's off, the whole batch can be rejected. Only the best quality milk makes it to the next stage. At the processing plant, milk gets turned into all kinds of products like cheese, yogurt, and good old-fashioned bottled milk. Each product has its own set of steps to follow. For example, cheese needs to be aged to get that perfect taste, while yogurt goes through fermentation. Throughout it all, there are strict checks in place to make sure everything is safe for you to eat. If a product doesn't pass the tests, it doesn't make it to the store shelves. From milking the cows to filling bottles, obtaining milk from cows is a careful process that takes time, patience, and skill. While milk is a significant product, the next, equally vital, is a cornerstone of the food industry: beef production. The next step begins when the cattle reach the perfect weight and condition, but it's far from straightforward. Farmers and transporters must ensure every measure is taken to minimize stress, as even the slightest tension can affect the quality of the meat. It's a long, careful drive to the processing plant, where things get even more serious. Now, stepping into a beef processing plant is like entering a well-oiled machine. Everything is clean, shiny, and organized. The cattle are brought in, and everything is done with precision. Workers, along with high-tech machines, follow strict procedures to make sure everything goes smoothly. It's not just about speed, it's about making sure that every step is done right. From the first cut to the final package, it's all done with hygiene in mind. Once the meat is processed, the cleaning process is extremely thorough. Everything is washed, scrubbed, and checked multiple times. And it's not just done by hand. There are the automated systems that help keep things spotless. The goal is to get rid of any possible contaminants, making sure the beef is as safe as possible before it reaches the shelves. After processing, the meat is divided into different cuts, some for steaks, some for ground beef, and so on. These cuts are then packaged up in a way that keeps them fresh and ready for your next barbecue or family dinner. But even at this stage, nothing is taken for granted. Every package is inspected to make sure it meets food safety rules. If something looks off, it gets pulled from the line. What's interesting is that the people who work in these plants aren't just there to do a job. They know how important their role is. They're handling something that's going to end up on someone's dinner plate, maybe even yours. So, they take it seriously, following safety checks and making sure everything is done just right. From the careful raising of cattle on the farm to the final product wrapped up and ready for the supermarket, the beef you buy has gone through countless checks and steps. While traditional methods have long been the norm, its integration with technology is the next best thing. Internet of Things in livestock farming. The Internet of Things, also known as IoT in livestock farming, is transforming how farmers manage cattle. Through small devices like collars or ear tags, farmers can track and monitor their animals remotely. These devices collect data such as the cattle's body temperature, heart rate, movement, and even reproductive health. This data is then sent to a central system where it is analyzed and displayed on a farmer's phone or computer, allowing them to check the health and behavior of their cattle without being physically present. One of the main advantages of using IoT in livestock farming is that it helps farmers keep a close eye on the health of their animals. For example, if a cow's body temperature rises, It may be a sign of sickness. The device will alert the farmer so they can take action before the issue becomes more serious. This kind of early detection helps prevent the spread of disease, reduces the need for expensive treatments, and can save the lives of animals. Another benefit is in tracking the feeding habits of cattle. The sensors can monitor how much and how often the cattle eat. This helps farmers make sure that their animals are getting the right amount of food, which is important for maintaining healthy growth and production. For farms focused on milk or meat, this data is crucial to making sure each animal is growing properly and efficiently. Reproductive health is another area where IoT can make a big difference. By monitoring body temperature and activity levels, the system can detect when a cow is in heat, making it easier for farmers to time breeding. This helps improve the chances of successful reproduction, ensuring that the herd grows at a steady rate. On large farms, IoT technology is especially useful for keeping track of where the animals are. With sensors that show the real-time location of each cow, farmers can find animals that might have wandered off or are in trouble. This is especially helpful when cattle are spread across large areas of land. The technology can also alert farmers if an animal's movement changes, such as if it becomes sluggish or injured. Using IoT devices also helps farmers save time and money. Since the technology monitors the cattle around the clock, farmers don't have to spend as much time physically inspecting the herd. This frees them up to focus on other tasks, reducing the need for extra labor and making the whole process more efficient. By catching problems early and improving overall herd management, IoT is helping farmers raise healthier cattle with less effort. Beyond monitoring health and feeding, IoT plays a key role in improving efficiency, animal welfare, and overall farm management. For instance, IoT can monitor environmental conditions around the cattle. Sensors placed around the farm track factors like temperature, humidity, air quality, and pasture condition. These environmental elements can significantly impact the health and productivity of cattle. If the temperature gets too high or low, the sensors alert the farmer, allowing them to make adjustments such as providing extra water or shade to keep the animals comfortable and productive. IoT also helps manage grazing patterns. By tracking cattle movements, farmers can see how different areas of pasture are being used. This helps them plan rotational grazing to prevent overgrazing and maintain pasture health. A well-managed pasture means healthier cattle and better land use, which benefits the farm in the long run. The integration of IoT with automated systems is another way it improves farm operations. For example, smart gates or feeders can be controlled remotely. If a farmer notices that a specific cow needs extra care, they can open gates or adjust feeding systems from their phone without needing to be on site. This automation reduces the need for constant physical oversight and makes daily tasks more efficient. IoT also supports better long-term decisions by collecting data over time. Farmers can look at trends in the data to make informed decisions about breeding, feeding schedules, and general herd management. For example, they might notice that certain conditions lead to faster weight gain, which helps them fine-tune their practices for better results. This data-driven approach helps optimize the overall productivity of the farm. The data from IoT devices can also be integrated with other farm management tools. Many farms use systems that connect all aspects of the farm, including livestock, crops, and machinery. This integration allows farmers to manage everything from one platform, improving the overall efficiency of the farm. However, there are challenges with implementing IoT in livestock farming. The technology depends on strong internet connectivity, which can be a challenge in remote or rural areas. Without reliable connections, the effectiveness of these devices can be limited. Additionally, the initial cost of purchasing and setting up IoT devices can be high, particularly for smaller farms. These barriers need to be addressed to ensure the technology is accessible to all farmers, regardless of the location or size of the farm. While the Internet of Things revolutionizes how farmers monitor and manage their herds, artificial intelligence takes it a step further. Artificial intelligence in livestock management. Artificial intelligence is changing the way farmers manage livestock, especially when it comes to raising cattle. By combining AI with aerial technology like drones, component placement farmers are transforming how they monitor their herds. This approach not only saves time, but also reduces costs while making cattle management more efficient. Traditionally, managing a herd meant physically checking on the cattle, which often involved long hours traveling across vast pastures. This process is not only time-consuming, but also stressful for the animals and exhausting for the farmers. With the introduction of AI-powered drones, however, this has changed. Farmers can now monitor their cattle remotely, reducing the need for constant manual inspections. AI drones function like flying assistants equipped with high-resolution cameras that capture detailed images of the cattle from above. These drones collect large amounts of data as they fly over the herd, gathering visuals that AI software processes to identify any issues with the animals. For example, drones can zoom in to check if a cow is limping, has a wound, or shows signs of sickness. Once the drone captures these images, the AI system analyzes them to detect any unusual behaviors or health problems. If the software finds something concerning, it sends an alert directly to the farmer's phone or computer, allowing for quick action before minor issues become major problems. The benefits of using AI drones in cattle management are numerous. One major advantage is better health monitoring. Drones equipped can detect early signs of diseases that might otherwise go unnoticed until they become severe. For instance, they can spot symptoms like foot rot, heat stress, or infections by using thermal imaging to detect changes in body temperature. These early alerts enable farmers to treat illnesses before they spread through the herd. In addition to health monitoring, AI drones help track cattle behavior and movement patterns. By flying overhead, drones can quickly identify animals that are not keeping up with the rest of the herd or that appear less active. This can signal problems like lameness or difficulty during calving, allowing farmers to intervene promptly. By analyzing how cattle behave, AI systems can also predict issues related to stress or changes in eating habits, ensuring the animals remain healthy and productive. Another significant benefit is the reduction in labor and overall costs. Traditionally, ranchers had to rely on hired hands or spend days themselves checking on their cattle. With AI-powered drones, a single operator can monitor thousands of animals from the comfort of their home. This not only reduces labor costs, but also frees up the farmer's time to focus on other important aspects of the farm. The ability to inspect large herds quickly and without disturbing the animals leads to a more efficient and less stressful management process. AI drones also play a crucial role in improving grazing management. By analyzing aerial images of pastures, the software can identify areas where vegetation is plentiful or conversely, where it is depleted. This helps farmers decide where to move their cattle for optimal grazing, ensuring the land remains sustainable. In addition, drones help prevent overgrazing, which can damage the soil and reduce the long-term productivity of the land. By using AI to manage pasture rotation, farmers can keep their herds healthier and their land in better condition. In different parts of the world, farmers are already using AI drones to transform their operations. In Australia, where cattle farms are spread over vast distances, drones equipped with AI have become a critical tool. Ranchers can now check on their herds without leaving home, saving days of work and allowing them to spot health issues early. Similarly, in Brazil, where beef production is a major industry, AI drones help farmers monitor herd health and pasture quality, making the process more efficient and sustainable. In the United States, ranchers are using drones to locate cattle during harsh winters, ensuring they don't get stuck in snow or wander too far from food sources. The future of AI and drones in livestock management looks promising. As the technology improves, it is likely to become even more integrated into the daily operations of cattle farms. In the coming years, we could see the rise of automated feeding systems where drones work in sync with robotic feeders. The AI would continuously monitor the cattle's weight and nutritional intake, adjusting their diet as needed to optimize growth. However, despite all the benefits, there are still challenges to overcome. One of the biggest barriers is the high cost of investing in AI drones and the necessary software. For smaller farms, this can be a significant expense. Additionally, farmers need to acquire the technical skills to operate these advanced systems, which may be daunting for those who are not familiar with modern technology. Finally, with more data being collected from farms, there are concerns about privacy and data security. Farmers need to be assured that their information is protected from potential breaches. Even with these challenges, the advantages of using AI in cattle management are clear. The technology has the potential to make livestock farming more efficient, less labor-intensive, and more sustainable. As AI becomes more affordable and easier to use, we will likely see even more farms adopting these technologies. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.